Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So, our theme for this go around, we're going back to one of my favorites I like to visit every year. We can only do it once a year, okay? Because what we're taking a look at is we are going back in time about 10 years, okay? And what that brings us to is 2014. So we are going to be taking a look at some of the best books that were published 10 years ago. They're celebrating their 10-year-old birthdays this year, okay? There's some amazing titles. Some we're still reading to this day. Others maybe you haven't heard of. Maybe you don't remember them, but they are just as awesome. We got some first in a series, some standalones, little something for everyone. So let's get started by taking a look at 6 amazing titles that are 10 years old. So our first one is Panic. Love this one, okay? So this one's a standalone. This is growing up in the small town of Carp, New York. It is up to you to create your own entertainment. So a group of teenagers, they've come up with a game called Panic. The rules of the game are easy. You have to go through a potentially deadly set of challenges, and the first person who wins takes the pot of money that everyone involved has put into. For the game this year, it's going to be $67,000. A lot of money. So Heather decides she's going to play the game this year on a whim. Well, her best friend Dodge joins the game because he needs the money. They soon form an alliance, hoping that it's going to help them face the various different challenges, but this game is not going to be as easy as anyone thinks, as its secrets, fears, choices, they start to filter throughout the games and challenges. You'll be on the edge of your seat, reading, wanting to know about the various challenges that are going to happen, the characters, the relationships they form, and they have to compete, and you'll be right there with them as they go through these competitions, and not everyone survives. If you like an edge on your seat, kind of a little bit of a different thriller, this is Panic. One that has become very familiar over the past couple of years, but it's 10 years old. How crazy is that? This is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So over the years, Lara Jean has started to like and then fall in love with a guy, even though they probably did not even know she existed, let alone her feelings for them. But when things would kind of come to an end on her side, she would write them a goodbye letter. She never wanted anyone to find these goodbye letters, okay? They were never supposed to be seen. They're supposed to be her secret. When these letters were accidentally mailed out, though, one day, her life turns upside down as she tries to convince her current crush, Josh, that she's over him, especially since he is her sister's ex-boyfriend. And then there's Peter, who she pretends to date in order to make his ex-girlfriend jealous, but things then start to get a little too real for both of them. As Lara Jean is trying to figure out her life, she's also being an older sister and mother to her younger sister, Kitty. She needs to try and juggle everything going on in her life, and this is the last thing she needs. But she's gonna get through it. This is the first in a completed trilogy. It is a laugh-out-loud romantic comedy. Maybe you have seen the show. The book, though, there's some things in the book that did not make the show, so totally worth the read. This is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Snow Like Ashes. And I will start by saying this. If you've watched enough of these, you know I'm not the biggest fantasy reader. Loved this fantasy series, though. Okay, so let's start right there with that endorsement, okay? This is the first in a completed trilogy. If you're looking for a fantasy trilogy that's set in another created world, look no further, okay? Now, I will tell you this, even though it's set in a whole other created realm here, yeah, okay, like, just bear with it, okay? So, living outside the winter realm, okay? So, there's 4 realms. They're the different seasons. Living outside the winter realm, we meet Mira. Now, Mira only wants to become a soldier, and she wants to help free the other inhabitants from her realm who are currently enslaved by their neighboring realm, which is Spring, okay? So Mira's with this band that was able to leave, and they want to try to open the gates back. Legend has it that there are 2 pieces of a magical talisman that when they're put together, this curse that's like keeping the other people enslaved, it can be broken. As Mira and her clan set off to find the 2 pieces, though, because they find rumor of maybe where one of them could be, Mira is going to be asked to do something she never, ever imagined. She is going to be used in a marriage alliance in order to shore up their strength in supplies. This is not what Mira wanted for herself though, but she's going to need to decide what is more important, herself or her land and people. So first in a completed trilogy, I will tell you the first one here does end on a cliffhanger, so make sure you get the second one when you get this one, because you're not going to want to wait to find out what happens with Mira and everyone else, okay? So make sure, Snow Like Ashes. We Were Liars. Okay. Katie comes from old money, and each summer, Katie, along with her cousins Johnny and Mirren and their mutual friend Gat, they have spent their summers together at the family's private island off of Cape Cod. The four of them together are known as the Liars, and they are always together. You never see one without the other three. The summer when she is 15, though, Katie has a horrific accident, and for the next 2 years, she finds herself having amnesia, migraines, and trying to piece everything together that led to this life-altering event. You'll be right along Katie as she tries to piece together everything, and you'll be learning right at the same time that as she picks up on clues and puts things together. Now, there are time jumps between past and present, but it is completely filled with so much suspense and drama. This book does not disappoint, okay? And I will tell you, it does start slow. The ending, the ending pays off. I'm just not even gonna go there, okay? Yeah, there is a prequel that has come out since this one. I will tell you, you do need to read We Were Liars before you get to the prequel. Trust me on that one, okay? But if you are looking for a book that is going to like smack you in the face, We Were Liars. Black Ice. Okay, so Becca Fitzpatrick was really known for the Hush Hush series, if you remember that. But she also has some standalones, and Black Ice is one of those. So Britt and her best friend, they're on a hiking trip in the Grand Tetons celebrating spring break. As they are making their way to the cabin that they have rented to stay at, though, a blizzard hits. And in order to survive, they have to find shelter. The only thing they have been able to find is another cabin, not the one that they're planning on staying at, but a completely different one. It is there that when they enter, they find something they did not really expect. Inside, they find evidence of other women who have disappeared, plus 2 fugitives who are also taking refuge inside said cabin. Now, taking the 2 girls hostage, Britt goes into survival mode. What is it going to take to leave here alive with my best friend? She decides she's going to offer to help the 2 fugitives escape during the blizzard in hopes of letting them both live. They decide to take her up on the offer. Brett sits off with the 2 men, all while trying to piece this mystery together. And as she gets to know them better, she finds herself actually having doubts, and she's unsure of who to trust and what actually has happened. If you like a good twisty mystery with some survival mixed in, this is the book for you. This is Black Ice. And our last one from 2014 is Belle Rebel. So it's Harper's junior year, and she's an overachiever and about to be named homecoming queen, because that's what's natural. That's the natural progression here. It is homecoming night, though, that everything changes. Because when she's on her way to the bathroom at school, she comes across a teacher and their janitor. And they're in a full-on physical fight altercation in which, standing there watching this happen, she sees the teacher kill the janitor, okay? It is with his dying breath as she races to him that he transfers an ancient power into making her what's called a paladin. Now, the paladin is the protector of the oracle. And if you know anything about from Greek mythology, you know oracles, they kind of tell the future, but in like not so clear terms type deal, okay? If you've been watching Percy Jackson, you understand what I'm saying. So, the oracle for her, though, is none other than David Stark, another student at their school, who is her arch enemy, and the feeling is mutual. The first in a completed series, you will follow Harper as she trains and learns how to be the paladin, all while navigating high school, paranormal enemies, and potentially starting to have feelings for the one person she cannot stand. Completed trilogy, again, you might want the second one when you check out the first one, just because that's what does have a cliffhanger here too, okay? This is Rebel Belle. So these are 6 books that we have here that are 10 years old, but I promise you, they are still just as good as they were when they first came out 10 years ago. So come on out, check out one of these, or we can find you whatever book you're looking to read, because let's get real, we all get in different book moods. We all want different things. Totally understand. That's why we have a million books here. I hope you have an incredible week, and I hope you tune back next time for a whole new teen book spotlight.